Okay, here we are in Stewart Airport at Witham Field in Stewart, Florida, and this is going to be a real nice candidate for us. The Citation Jet's got about 8 years on the paint, and it's getting pretty bad, so the owners agreed to let us coat the whole thing, and we've got some really good before numbers for fuel flow, time to climb, and all that, so we're going to get at it and see what we can do and see what happens.
Now this is the right side. On the boot you can see how lifeless it looks. We have not put Ceramlock on this yet. I'm going to take you to the other side and show you the shine on the other side. See the shine and how beautiful it is? That's after 2 coats of our Ceramlock. Alright, this is just a process of cleaning it.
Cleaning the rubber boot.
Getting ready for the Ceramlock. We've cleaned the top of the wings. We're just getting ready to actually coat the top of the wing and the boot with our ceramic product Ceramlock. Alright, we just got done doing the wing, and see what a dramatic difference it made, especially on the boot and the wing.
Better. It's a little softer. The contours a little better.
The key to this is also remembering where you've been. That's why Doug constantly checks. You can see the difference. We just did the front part of the cowling. You can see how lustrous it is compared to right behind the cowling. How dull it is. This is our 900 Ceramlock series, designed for aviation.
You have to play music during this part.
Doug, how does it look from here? It's hard for me to check with the light. It looks pretty good.
The critical thing with this is you want to make sure you get at different angles to see if there's any areas that you've missed. As you can see, it goes on very smoothly.
ahead.
Hi, my name is Randy Opat, and this is Doug Byram, the inventor of Ceramlock, and we're here with a Citation Jet, a 501, one of the aircraft that I fly for a living. And what I'd like to talk about is my experience with Ceramlock so far. The paint job on the aircraft that's behind me is 5 years old, and normally the life of paint on an aircraft is 5 years, give or take a little bit. To paint this aircraft is about $50,000. What we've done is this paint was pretty tired, and the UV had killed the paint job on it over a period of time. The other day we coated the airplane with Ceramlock, which went on, Doug, about
Anywhere
2/10.
Yeah, anywhere from 2 to 3, maybe 4/10 of a mil, probably closer to 2/10 of a mil.
And you can see the aircraft. We worked from the top of the tail to the bottom of the aircraft, and we used right at how much?
We were between 3 and 4/4 by the time we did the whole aircraft, and I think if I remember right, you told me the wings were painted 05 and the fuselage is the original.
That's correct. That's correct.
The way we applied it, we actually have some applicators that we built, and we actually wipe it on, so we don't need to go in a spray booth or anything else with it. So,
but besides the protection of Ceramlock, essentially, in my opinion, Ceramlock is the next generation in terms of protecting and enhancing and making the paint job last longer. But the reason I've been a proponent is because I've used it on a couple of my own aircraft, one of which is a Piper Arrow, and my R-44 helicopter. On the Arrow, I had noticed a performance increase on it. And now that we've put it on the Citation Jet, I've got 3 legs on it so far, and am now qualifying how much performance enhancement we will objectively get on it. But there clearly is a performance enhancement. Beside the painted surface, what we did is we applied, and Doug, please talk about it, we put Ceramlock on the polished leading edges. And I've previously used it on polished leading edges before, and it's amazing, but also we used it on the rubber boots. And if you'll talk about the different products, Doug, and just explain to the viewers about.
well, what we used on the painted surface and the polished aluminum was our 900 series. On the de-icing boots here, we used our 805 series, simply for the fact that we've got a lot of experience with that. We've used it on car tires, and it seems to last the life of the tire and all. But we're still testing other ones. But these boots were practically dead, and I don't know how far away from it.
They were original boots, and they were getting pretty tired.
Yeah.
The UV had started to deteriorate the rubber on it.
Yeah, we have maximum UV protection built into this too. The boots took about, I would say 2 to 3 coats on there. In other words, we just wiped one coat on, let it tack up, and we wiped another coat on, and so forth. But it seems to work real well, and may possibly have some anti-icing characteristics to it, because water hits the surface of this, it almost seems like it accelerates getting off there.
You know, while we're on camera, if anybody can get a bottle or a little cup, let's scoop some of the water out of here and just put it on there. But while we're talking on camera, what I want to do is ensure that the people listening to this understand that this is not a urethane base, this is not an acrylic base, this is not a silicone base, this is a ceramic base, which is new technology. And again, the coating is roughly less than 1/2 thousandths thick. And what we're going to do is take some water here. I actually used it on a seaplane recently, on the floats of a seaplane, because it has some interesting characteristics that no other product I found has, and that is it has no surface tension. And that can be demonstrated twofold. One, we're going to get some water. Can you see the characteristics of what water does? There's no surface tension. Now watch when it hits also the boot. Well, needless to say, for those that are aircraft-orientated people, No surface tension, the coefficient of drag is reduced. When the coefficient of drag is reduced, there goes performance. That equates down to fuel economy and more range.
I think on your Cherokee we saw in a neighborhood of 4 to 5% reduction in fuel consumption, and that was at what, about 140 knots indicated?
That's affirmative.
And what do you indicate on this? Around 350 maybe?
It depends on my altitude and outside air temperature, but normally I'll cruise at a true airspeed of about 330 knots.
So you're talking roughly 5 to 6 times the drag increase up there due to the higher speeds.
And we're still qualifying that objectively over a period of time. But those are some of the characteristics, and if you look at the water droplets, there's zero surface tension. And when I put it on the floats of the seaplane, the same characteristics held true, which is from a seaplane perspective, that means the aircraft get, watch the bubble. I don't know if you could see that one, what it was doing. How the water droplets combine together, and once they go together, they just simply go away, and there it goes. One of the other factors that we wanted to bring up is the fact that Ceramlock on these leading edge boots, since there's now no surface tension, we believe that we're going to have a factor of ice not sticking as well to the surface as it previously did. And again, that we're defining objectively rather than subjectively. But you can see there's zero surface tension. From an aircraft perspective again, anytime we can keep ice buildup off at the leading edge of an aircraft is a big deal. Let's go back to the rear of the aircraft here and look at the exhaust. What you may want to do is just show the folks that this is the exhaust off the J33 or the engine, and this gets extremely hot, and we put Ceramlock on this outside portion here, which gets extremely hot, and you can see there's zero deterioration. And Doug, if you want to speak about that, please do.
Well, the nice thing too is gases or oils don't phase this. Brake fluids don't phase it. We've tested it with Skydrol, having it sitting on aluminum plate for 2 to 3 weeks, wipe it off, it wouldn't phase it. And Skydrol will essentially strip most paints pretty quick. It's some pretty nasty stuff. It also, the exhaust gases don't seem to bother it, and that's also, the exhaust gases are very corrosive, so it makes clean up a breeze. You might have a few bug guts here and there, but it's simply a dry rag, wipe it up, and you're done.
There's also something, while we're back here at the rear of the aircraft, I'd like to show the folks, are the speed brakes. These speed brakes are made of magnesium. Magnesium, even though it's painted, we always have corrosion issues with magnesium. And we've now coated these with Ceramlock. And in previous experience with magnesium and Ceramlock is that nothing gets through the Ceramlock. Doug, would you want to comment on that at all?
Well, the reason being we're based on inorganic materials that we're using in there. Most of your paints are organic, which essentially means they have some minute porosity to them. In other words, little holes all through it. We have none of that. So that's one of the secrets, and we can get by very, very thin with it too. And actually on the exhaust, heat will increase the performance aspects of it. One, make it harder, and two, slipperier up to a certain point. We don't really know what that point is yet, but it's awful high.
I think one of the other things we want to show here is if we go over to the left wing of the aircraft, and bearing in mind that the paint on this aircraft was almost completely dead, and it was starting to chalk up, and I'd like you to take the camera and just look down the left wing of the aircraft and show the folks how it enhanced the gloss performance. And
you can see from the gloss factor that was put back into the paint, it was rejuvenated. It came out to be very close to this almost brand new Corvette. And This is garaged and very low mileage. This fuselage is original. As you can see from these leading edges, they were buffed out and the Ceramlock was coated over it. Same thing with the engine inlet. The heat will not affect it, and this should hold up relatively 10 times better than a wax, so that you won't have to be spending the money on the detailing. Once you put the Ceramlock over the aircraft, you do not have to apply wax to the aircraft ever again.